Please press bell icon to subscribe to my channel Seema Gautam for more videos. Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well, and I'm here with another interesting topic of history, that is the Great Uprising. Its name is contested and it is variously described as the Sepoy Mutiny, the Indian Mutiny, the Great Rebellion, the Revolt of 1857, the Indian Insurrection, the First War of Independence. The Great Uprising of 1857 is also called the Sepoy Mutiny. Discontent of the British administration in India led to numerous mutinies in 1857 and 1858. The Revolt of 1857 was the first of its kind that brought all the forces in India, such as the soldiers, the rulers, and the commoners, rise against the British forces. The revolt of 1857 was a large-scale revolt against the British that started within the ranks of the army and soon spread it to other areas. British historians refer to it as Sepoy Mutiny. Indian historians call it for the First War of Independence. There were the sporadic rebellions and protests against the British policies. However, they could not shake the foundation of British rule in India. The revolt of 1857 was the culmination of popular discontent against several British policies. The causes was divided into general causes and immediate causes. The general causes were further divided into four types, which were economic, political, social, religious, and military causes. Now we will learn in detail about all the causes. So first we will discuss the political causes. Many Indian rulers lost their territories after the British conquest of India. Policies like the subsidiary alliance and the doctrine of lapse caused resentment and insecurity amongst the affected ruler. The British refused to accept the Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II, as his legal heir, and stopped paying him pensions that was given to Bajirao. This was caused Nana Sahib to revolt. In 1857, he led the attack to Kanpur. Rani Lakshmibai, who was also the victim of this, was furious when the British annexed Jhansi under Dalhaujie's policy of doctrine of lapse. Other rulers like Begum Hazrat Mahal, also known as Begum of Awadh, were also upset with the British and took an active part in the mutiny. The company took over the princely estates of Satara, Jodhpur, Sambalpur, Bhagat, Udaipur, Jhansi, Nagpur, Tor, and Arcot under the terms of doctrine of lapse. We'll move further and discuss economic causes. Another most important cause of popular discontent was British policy of economically exploiting India. This hurt all sections of society. Artisans and the craftsmen were ruined by the large-scale influx of cheap British manufacturers' goods into India, which in turn made their handmade goods uneconomical to produce. Such policies of the British ruined India's agriculture and led to famines. It also ruined the industries, resulting in mass employment and poverty. Impose of land taxes on the tax-free lands, destructions of high-class landlords, deprival of higher posts of the educated Indians, economic disadvantages, and losses. The British often forced Indians to produce cash crops like cotton, jute, and indigo in place of food crops. Social and religious causes. We are going to learn now that the British introduced measures for the legalization of widow remarriage, the abolition of sati, and the improvement of women's education. They also brought in laws that banned child marriage. But the conservative sections of the Indian society felt that the foreign government had no right to interfere in or reform the religious and the social customs of India. The conservative sections also viewed the works of missionaries like William Carey with suspicion. They believed that the social work carried out by the missionaries were actually a means to spread Christianity in India. Moving ahead with the military causes. During the two Burmese War of 1824 and 1852, the Indian soldiers were expected to cross the Bay of Bengal. Hindus were forbidden by their religion to cross the seas, which they called the Kala Pani. Thus, the Hindu soldiers resented this new order. The sepoys formed the backbone of the British Army in India, but even though the sepoy were good and hard-working as British soldiers, they were paid much less. The living conditions also compare unfavorably with those of British soldiers. The sepoys who had fought in campaigns abroad now knew that they could fight as well as the British soldiers. They also knew that they were in much greater numbers than the British soldiers. This gave them the confidence to revolt against the British. And the last one, the immediate cause. The British introduced a new rifle in the army called Enfield rifle. The cartridges for this rifle had a greased paper cover. One end of this had top be bitten off before loading the cartridge. There were rumors that the grease was made of cow and pig fat, but Muslims are forbidden from eating pigs and Hindus consider cows as sacred. The sepoys believed that the British were deliberately using the greased cartridges to defile the religion of both the Hindus and the Muslims. And great, the sepoys refused the use of cartridges. This episode of greased cartridges was the immediate cause for the revolt. It is believed that the Bangal Pandey, a sepoy in the Bengal regiment of the British Army, sparked off the mutiny. When the new cartridges were introduced, he refused to use them. When the force he attacked Lieutenant Bogg and causing a major uproar. He was, however, captured soon and executed. Today he is regarded as a brave freedom fighter, and the Indian government has issued a postage stamp in his honor. Film of Father on 9th May 1857, 85 Indian soldiers in Meerut, a town in Uttar Pradesh, were dismissed and sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment for refusing to accept the greased cartridges. On hearing this, Indian soldiers stationed at Meerut rebelled. On 10th May, they released their fellow sepoys and killed some British officers. Then they marched to Delhi and captured it, proclaiming Bahadur Shah, the Mughal emperor, as the leader and emperor of India. After this, the revolt spread to many parts of North India, Kanpur, Lucknow, Bareilly, Jhansi, Bihar, and East Punjab. And there was the time of end of this revolt. In spite of widespread nature of the revolt, it was suppressed within a year. The British recaptured Delhi in September 1857. Bahadur Shah was captured, as we can see in the image on the left, and the sons were killed. He was exiled to Burma, where he later died. Delhi was ransacked by the British, and the revolt soldiers were put to death. By June 1858, the British had defeated the rebels and crushed the revolt. There were many consequences of the revolt, which we'll discuss here in brief. As we're moving ahead, the revolt serves as a source of inspiration for the future nationalists. In the sense of the revolt of 1857 may be considered the first war of independence, Indian independence. The victory of the British marked the end of the Mughal rule in India. Then, recognitions of the British Empire in India, the rule of East India Company, ended with Queen Victoria's proclamations of November 1, 1858. She assumed the title of the Empress of India. Several factors are also there which are responsible for the failure of this war of independence. The revolt of 1857 did not involve all sections of Indian society. Most Indian rulers and zamindars who had benefited from British rule refused to join the rebellion. The people who took part in the revolt did not know for certain what they wanted to do after seizing power from the British. They were opposed to the British rule but were unable to provide any effective alternative to it. I'll conclude my chapter here and see you soon with another chapter.